Joining me right now is the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, Congressman Kevin Brady of Texas. Mr. Chairman, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Isn't it amazing to you that we get this poll where it says that these people, most people are not seeing the tax plan as a positive?
Yeah, well, I think the narrative has been just so brutal for the past year. But when they ask the questions, Maria, you get different answers. When you ask people, should you be able to keep more of what you work so hard to earn? You want to see the standard deduction doubled? Do you want to get more help raising your kids? Do you want to see those paychecks rise? The answer invariably is yes. I think just a general comment, you sometimes get a different answer. But back home, I can tell you Main Street optimism is at an all-time high. People are really appreciating just keeping more of what they earn. And now we're seeing dollars come back from the overseas to be invested in America, exactly the opposite of what we'd seen for 2 decades.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very positive
Well,
response.
this was very powerful legislation. We know we've seen already a big impact with animal spirits really moving in the corporate sector. Let me ask you about phase 2. Do you want to do a phase 2 tax cut plan?
Yeah, I do, and it's probably different than what most people think. We want to change the culture in Washington where once every 30 years we reform the tax code. In between, we fall farther behind, and we just do a lot of special breaks. We're talking about trying to do what businesses do, which is every year Congress look at the tax code, ask themselves, can we be more competitive as a country? Can we be more innovative? Can we be better? Can we stretch families' paychecks farther? So this year we're looking at issues like, can we help families save more and earlier throughout their lifetime? Can we spur more innovation here in the United States? And can we make permanent some of the long-term but not yet permanent provisions of the tax code?
So you want to make the cuts for personal permanent?
Yeah, I think they ought to be done. And I also think there's a 2.0 and a 3.0. And my point is, like businesses, continually getting better every year.
It will evolve.
Yes.
And in terms of expensing and the corporate sector, what do you want to see done in terms of business cuts?
Yeah, I have no doubt that that'll be made permanent. The question is when. We'll just find the right timing for it because we've already seen investment unleashed, throughout the economy because businesses, large and small, are now able to write those off, those capital investments the year they buy them. It's really powerful.
What are you going to do about spending, Mr. Chairman? I mean, we've seen reports in the last few weeks that President Trump wants to claw back as much as $60 billion from the $1.3 trillion omnibus. Yesterday, we had Kevin McCarthy in the chair here saying that, look, the rescission is not about the omnibus. It's about looking for revenue that's not used. But you voted for that massive spending bill. A lot of complaining about that $1.3 trillion bill. What are you going to do about it now?
Yeah, so I think that omnibus was about a historic rebuilding of America's national defense, exactly what we need to do. But it is also a symbol of a broken budget system for more than a decade. The House is passing these bills separately in a small way. The Senate has not able to pass any, and so we end up with something no one wants. So I think I welcome these rescissions. I think we ought to wake up every day looking at wasteful spending, things that aren't a priority. And so I think these rescissions and this process is a good thing.
Okay, so do you think that we will, in fact, see it? Because Mitch McConnell told Neil Cavuto recently, it's not even on the table. We're not going to look at anything.
Well, look, I think it ought to be.
Floor.
Yeah, I think it ought to be. I think we ought to. Look, I think we're spending too much.
Yeah.
There is wasteful spending. That omnibus is because the system is broken. And so let's do what we can now.
You didn't want to shut down the government. You didn't think so enough to say, look, I'm not signing this.
No, and look, at the end of the day, I think President Reagan had 2 big legacies: tax reform and rebuilding the military. So that's exactly what we're doing in the first 2 years of President Trump: tax reform and rebuilding our national security. That's important.
Mr. Chairman, there's a narrative out there right now that things will begin to slow down in 2019. I spoke with the president of the Dallas Federal Reserve, who said, look, yeah, we're looking for 2.7% economic growth this year, but by the time 19 going into 20 comes along, we're talking about growth of 1.75%. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't. Look, I think there's been sort of an economic narrative that America has to settle for this 2% growth. We've seen that. It's why we drove tax reform, is to break out of that sort of sluggish economy. And so, no, I see the economy moving, but I will tell you there's 2 things we need to do right to maximize off this tax reform. One, we need more customers. That's free trade, including a modern NAFTA. And second, we need a better workforce. Because I'll guarantee you all across the country, Companies large and small are turning away work because they don't have the workforce they need. That's something the House and Congress needs to address.
Yeah, and the reason that I raise it is because, so many people are expecting that we're going to see better growth numbers continue, and that will pay some part of the tab for the tax cut bill. And Nancy Pelosi, the other, says it's absolutely BS that anything's going to pay for itself.
Well, listen, she's exactly wrong and has been throughout this whole process.
Yes,
and she really misled the American voters about the tax relief they'd give. But even if you accept the Congressional Budget Office numbers, even they admitted revenues will grow after tax reform. They increased by $1 trillion. So on a static basis, 2/3 of it will be recouped already. And that's under economic growth, I think, that will be ultimately higher than what they predict.